Now what a surprise, a new franchise here and they're full of 0 overall players. The Wichita Wildcats are full of 0 overall players and they're trying to win their first Stanley Cup. But how are they going to do that today? Well, through the wheel of NHL Draft Classes. Now we're going to be spinning a lot of wheels today, but we're going to be starting off with this one right here and we're going to be selecting from the 2016 draft class. Now we could make this very simple on ourselves. Just add Austin Matthews to the team, add Matthew Tkachuk to the team, and we would be done. But it's not going to be that simple because we have ourselves another wheel. Draft rounds. We have rounds 1 through 7 on this wheel right here, and we have to figure out what round we're going to be selecting from, and it looks like we're going to be getting a player from the second round. I can live with that. Now the 2016 draft has some great players. Austin Matthews, Patrick Laine, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jesse Puljujärvi's even here, but we can't select any of these players. We have to go down to the second round, and of course there's one man already highlight we could bring to the team. That would be Jordan Kyrou, and I certainly wouldn't be against Jordan Kyrou here, and we're probably actually going to go with Jordan Kyrou because I do believe he's probably going to be the best player available. I mean, Filip Gustavsson wouldn't be a bad pickup either. We would get a goaltender early in this video. We could definitely win with Gustavsson in the future. But you know what? There's going to be a lot of great goaltenders available in this video, and I don't want to be selecting one first. So I think we're just going to keep things really simple here. We're going to start off with the St. Louis Blues legend, Jordan Kyrou. Welcome to the team. Jordan Kyrou, you're going to be the first player brought to the team, selected in the second round of the 2016 draft, an 88 overall to begin with. I do want to take one last look at Filip Gustavsson though. Like, Filip Gustavsson really wouldn't be that bad of a goaltender for us. 88 overall. Am I going to pass up on St. Louis Blues legend for Filip Gustavsson? I might have to, because realistically, what are the odds we get a better goaltender? Like, the odds technically would be high for us to get a better goaltender. And you know what? I've committed to Jordan Kyrou. Gustavsson, you'd be an incredible pickup here, but we're going to ride with Jordan Kyrou here. Now, was I biased in that selection of Jordan Kyrou over Gustavsson? Yes, I was. We're not going to hide from it. I was 1000% biased. I wanted to bring St. Louis Blues legend Jordan Kyrou to the team here. That's an absolute no-brainer. I don't think anyone's surprised at that. But it's finally time for the Wildcats to simulate a couple games here and go 0-82 and probably not take any shots here. We know this team's going to be terrible. We're taking on St. Louis in our first game. We lost 20-0. As a Blues fan, I'd be okay if we beat a team 20-0. But yeah, this team is absolutely cooked. Now, we shouldn't really be surprised at this. Of course, the Wildcats are the worst team in the entire league. We didn't score a single goal this season. The St. Louis Blues, after beating us 20-0 in the first game of the season, finished 4th last in the entire league. You're telling me they couldn't build off that momentum of a 20-0 victory in game number 1? That's just disappointing. But you know what's more disappointing? The fact that we haven't hit 84k yet. So if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 84,000 subs by the end of the month, and if you don't subscribe, we won't be able to do so hit the button down below right now. But anyways, we can't focus on the failures of the St. Louis Blues. Jordan Kyrou, you're minus 548 this season. You didn't take a single shot. I don't expect anyone on this team to have taken a shot this season, and it doesn't look like that happened. When it comes to goaltending, these were numbers. Ricky Lafleur, a 704 and a 1989. Meanwhile, Eric Carmen, a 697 and a 1959. You would think I'm talking about years right now. Nope, I'm talking about goals against. That's how bad we were. This is an interesting Stanley Cup final and a very interesting conference finals. I feel like I've never seen a Stanley Cup final so far in NHL 25 that has the LA Kings taking on the Red Wings, and then the conference finals we have Utah taking on the Kings, and then the Capitals taking on the Red Wings. I feel like I don't see those 4 teams very often in the conference finals or even the Stanley Cup final. So yeah, that's interesting. But you know what? We spent enough time here. Let's go spin the wheel and add another player. Now I'm going to be honest, it doesn't really matter what draft class we land on here. We're just focusing on landing on a round that has a really good player. We got the 2019 draft. That doesn't really help me too much because we don't know what round we're going to get. Like, ideally every season we land on the first round, and that's what we're going to be getting here. We're taking a first round pick from the 2019 draft. We should be all right. Now, the 2019 draft definitely had some great players. Jack Hughes was selected 1st overall, Mo Seider 6th overall, Dylan Cousins 7th overall, St. Louis legend Philip Broberg 8th overall. We kind of fleeced Edmonton for him. Matt Boldy's available here, Cole Caulfield's available, Thomas Harley's available, but we're not going to be selecting any player I named outside of Jack Hughes because we're just going to go with the 1st overall pick in this draft. Jack Hughes, welcome to the team. You're definitely the best player available. So it's an absolute no-brainer who we're bringing to the team. Jack Hughes selected 1st overall. A 94 overall is going to be joining our team this early in the video, but there's already a problem I'm seeing. Jack Hughes is a playmaker. Jordan Kyrou is a playmaker. For some reason, I just seem to like to bring playmakers to my team. I don't know what it is. Alright, so we need to talk about how stupid our coach is. Why on earth would Jordan Kyrou play on the second line here? We have 0 overalls outside Jordan Kyrou and Jack Hughes. maybe, just maybe, we should load up our first line. But maybe not. Maybe you know better, and Jordan Kyrou should play second line minutes by himself. Yeah, that makes no sense. I don't know what he's thinking. Now, we might have had 2 playmakers on our team, but we clearly had a sniper here. The Wichita Wildcats are going to be scoring 7 goals. Of those 7 goals, all 7 came from Jack Hughes. Bro scored all 7 goals this season. He took 32 shots and shot 21.9%. Jordan Kyrou took 21 shots and shot 0%. Bro couldn't find the back of the net once. So Jack Hughes is going to be scoring all the goals. Jordan Kyrou is going to be picking up all the assists. And of course, all of them were power play points. Are we really surprised at that? The goaltending is still going to be atrocious here, but look at Ricky Lafleur, a great season from him, a 7-12 and a 17-77. Nah, bro's making strides in the right direction. The Toronto Maple Leafs are Stanley Cup champions. That's enough nonsense for today. Like, what are we talking about here? The Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup? That's just not happening. We got ourselves the 2007 draft class up next. There's definitely some big names at play, but which of those big names are we going to begin? Well, I'm not too sure. We got to spin this wheel, and we're going to be getting someone from the 2007 first round. Nah, we've been getting incredibly lucky with these spins. 2 first round selections and a second round selection. You already know this is going to come crumbling down real quick. Now, I might have gassed up the 2007 draft a little bit too much because there's really not too many players left in the league. Like, we have Patrick Kane to select from. We got JVR to select from. Those are 2 players that aren't too bad. Logan Couture, I guess technically we could still select because he hasn't technically retired in NHL 25, so he's still available. Ryan McDonough is available. Lars Eller is available. Ian Cole is available. Max Pacioretty is available. Yeah, this isn't actually necessarily the greatest draft class to select from, especially since we got the first round. So I think we might just want to keep things simple here and bring Patrick Kane to the team. Once again, we're going to be bringing the player drafted first overall. But I think out of all these players I mentioned, he technically is the best available. Patty Kane, we're going to be bringing you to the team here. I'm actually not sure what overall you are. I think you're still like an 86 overall. Yes, you are. So 86 overall Patrick Kane, another playmaker. We have 3 playmakers on this team, but luckily we know Jack Hughes can score goals because that's what he did last season. Okay, this is actually just disrespectful. Jordan Kyrou, why would you play on the second line? Jack Hughes' secondary position is left wing, so maybe, just maybe, we should move him to left wing. And then Jordan Kyrou, your secondary position is center, so maybe it would make sense for you to play on the first line. And then everyone technically is in a primary position or a secondary position. But nope, the coach for some reason wants Jordan Kyrou on the second line with 0 overall players. They don't want this man to see any success, and I'm not having it. Now, I'm actually a little bit surprised with just 3 forwards, and all 3 of them being playmakers. We're already picking up 41 goals here, half a goal per game. That's actually not bad considering we only have Patrick Kane, Jack Hughes, and Jordan Kyrou here. Patty Kane's going to lead the way, 14 goals, 25 helpers for 39 points. Jack Hughes is going to be picking up 37 points. Jordan Kyrou's picking up 37 points, and they actually had some 5-on-5 points this season. No, this team was stepping up when they had to, but I shouldn't actually say that. This team wasn't stepping up. These 3 players were stepping up because outside of them, Kaz Kalinkas was the only one with a point, and he scored 1 goal for 1 point, and that was it. Every other goal or assist came from these 3 guys right here. They're the key parts of this team, so I shouldn't really be surprised that they're carrying the way. Eric Hartman, Ricky Lafleur, they had numbers this season. Until we get a good goaltender, there's no chance that we win a game because we're just not going to be winning a game with a 0 overall. The St. Louis Blues got swept in the conference finals. My heart's broken. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see St. Louis falling in the conference finals. That's just not right. We got the 2008 draft class. Let's see what we're going to be walking away with. Like, I can't imagine we're going to be landing on the first round once again here. It doesn't look like that's going to be happening. We're going to be getting a 3rd round pick from the 2008 draft class. Now, because it's a 3rd round pick from the 2008 draft class, we're not getting Steven Stamkos. We're not getting Drew Doughty. We're not getting Alex Pietrangelo. We're not going to be able to walk away with any of those players. We have to go down to the 3rd round to see what we're going to get. Shout out to Yori Laterra, St. Louis Blues legend. Sometimes I just reminisce about Yori Laterra's rookie year with St. Louis. Bro was him. Now, when it comes to players that we can actually select here, there's only 1 active player left from the 2008 draft class who was drafted in the 3rd round, and that's going to be Adam Henrique. So Adam Henrique, welcome to the team. You're probably going to play some 3rd line minutes for us in the future. Unless we don't get any elite players moving forward, then maybe you'll hold the top 6 role. All right, this is completely besides the point, but I just want to put you on game here. Yori Laterra's rookie season with the St. Louis Blues, 14 goals, 30 assists for 44 points in 75 games. I was thinking bro was going to be an elite player for us. I was thinking like a second line player, maybe even a first line player. But little did I know, after Jori Lehtera's rookie year, he would never be the same player again. Now, Adam Henrique, you actually bring something pretty valuable to the team, and you know what that is? The fact that you're not a playmaker. You might only be an 81 overall, but at least you're a two-way forward. It's better than only having playmakers here. Now, Adam Henrique, I can't thank you enough here, but when I go to head coach preferred lines, we're finally playing Jordan Kyrou on the top line. The coaches finally figured it out here. Maybe Kyrou should get some top line minutes. Henrique, you're going to be holding it down in the second line alongside a couple zero overalls. I don't expect you to do anything here. So once again, we're not going to be seeing the Wichita Wildcats winning any games this season, but that's not too much of a surprise. I think we had the exact same offense as we did last season. 41 goals, which is going to be half a goal per game. Jack Hughes, 39 points. I feel like I've seen this before. Adam Henrique, you were added to the team, so we should have been slightly better, but no, I think we were basically the exact same. I don't think anything really changed with this Wildcats team, but it's not like we saw a significant upgrade with Adam Henrique. I mean, what am I talking about? He was a significant upgrade. Like, we went from a 0 overall player to Adam Henrique. That's a pretty big upgrade. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions, but once we add Vasilevsky to the team, we're going to be in that category too. Now, if you were to ask me when was Vasilevsky drafted, I have absolutely no clue. I know it was in 2017. So yeah, even if we wanted to bring Vasilevsky to the team, I don't even know what draft class we need to land on. Now, I don't really care what round we land on here, as long as we're bringing a star player to the team. Hopefully 2017 has an elite player from the 6th round. Now, this is one where I certainly would have liked to get the 1st round, because we would have brought Cale Makar to the team. That would be an absolute no-brainer. Nico Hischier was also in this draft. Miro Heiskanen was in this draft. Gabe Velarde, Marty Necas. But we have to go all the way down to the 6th round and figure out what we're going to be getting here. So we've entered the 6th round. Nick Perbix is one of the first players I saw. Morgan Barron we could bring to the team as well. And I think it's going to be between those two players right there. So do we want Perbix or do we want Morgan Barron? Honestly, I think it's going to be a bit more difficult in this video to get defensemen. So we're going to go with Perbix. So Perbix, you're going to be the first defenseman we bring to the team here. I believe you're an 81 overall, 82 overall if we're lucky here. And it looks like we can be lucky. Nick Perbix, 82 overall. Welcome to the team. You're going to be our number 1 defenseman until we get a better defenseman, which I really hope we do, because no disrespect to Perbix here, but if an 82 overall ends up being our best defenseman, we could be in trouble. Nah, this is actually ridiculous here. Why on earth would we play Patrick Kane or Adam Henrique on the first line over Jordan Kyrou? He is literally a higher overall than both of these guys, but according to the head coach preferred lines, that's what we're going to do now that Nick Perbix is on the team. Apparently, Perbix has influenced our coach, and now he believes Adam Henrique should be playing on the first line over Kyrou. I guess we'll see how that works. Like, if Buddy wants to play Adam Henrique on the first line that badly, I'll let him do it. Let's just see how it ages for us. All right, I was wrong. I'll admit it, I was wrong here. Adam Henrique on the first line, I guess makes more sense. 52 goals this season. That's more than 41 goals. 11 more goals scored this season. But was it because of Adam Henrique or was it because of Nick Perbix? Because we finally had a defenseman on the ice with our first line. I'm going to be honest here. If Jordan Kyrou was on that top line, we probably would have scored a goal per game. Am I trying to gas up Jordan Kyrou a little bit too much here? Absolutely. Like, let's face it. There's so many 0 overalls on this team. We're still terrible. It doesn't really matter who we add. The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. We're still a long ways away from winning a cup, but bringing Connor McDavid in with our next spin, that would help a ton. Now, there's still a lot of things that this team needs, so I'm actually fine with any of these draft classes right here. We're landing on 2016 once again. Give me the 1st round again. Like, if we can bring in multiple 1st round selections from the 2016 draft, we're going to be sitting perfect. We got the 7th round instead. Hopefully there's a steal here. A couple seconds ago, I said I hope we get the 1st round once again here. We haven't even gotten the 1st round once with the 2016 draft, but we're going to be bringing in a player from the 7th round here. Who are we going to be looking at? Vinny Desharnais. That is actually the last person I want to bring to this team. I actually rather bring in one of these guys who haven't played any NHL games over Vinny Desharnais. No, this is actually the worst thing that we could have gotten. Now, I can probably think of about 200 defensemen I'd rather have over Vinny Desharnais here, but that's who we landed on, and that's who we have to select. Wow, I do not want this man on my team. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know how bro's still in the NHL. Like, he is not good. Yeah, so I'm just not a big fan of Vinny Desharnais. Like, I really don't know what he actually brings to your team. He's 6'7", so yeah, he's a big defenseman, but he's incredibly slow and gets blown by constantly. What else does he really bring to your team? So Jordan Kyrou is back to playing some first line minutes here, and we're picking up 58 goals this season, so surprisingly he's not making that much of a difference. But then again, we have to realize Vinny Desharnais is now playing on our first pairing, and what did Desharnais do with this team? Well, he recorded 1 goal and 1 assist. That is 1 more point than Trevor Corey and 1 more point than Kaz Kalin. Kalinkas. These guys are 0 overalls. So all I'm saying is, Vinny Desharnais, you are slightly better than a 0 overall player. Is that disrespectful? Sort of. But I mean, look at the facts here. They weren't really that far off. The Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup champions. Desharnais, you should just be lucky you outscored those 0 overall players, because if you didn't, I would never let you live it down. No, but in all seriousness here, how did you almost get outscored by a 0 overall player? How on earth is that even possible? We're selecting from the 2017 draft once again. Don't give me the 6th round. Like, as long as we don't land on the 6th round here, we're going to be looking incredible. Cale Makar, welcome to the team. This is a game changer. So yeah, we're not looking at anybody on this list. Cale Makar, welcome to the team. I'm not considering any other player. If I were to consider another player, of course it would be Robert Thomas and then the Otter, but nah, we have to go with Cale Makar here. Robert Thomas, I'm passing you up for Cale Makar. I feel like there's some pretty good reasoning behind that. So Cale Makar, welcome to the team. You're going to be our #1 defenseman. We finally have a guy that we can build around here. 95 overall, the best player on the team now. Our defense is set. All we need to do now with the defense is bring in some good supporting pieces. And once we have that, we're going to be elite. Then again, we could use a goaltender and maybe some more forwards. That would help as well. All right, so here's what our defense is going to be looking like. Cale Makar and Nick Perbix, they're going to be manning the #1 pairing. Then we're going to have Kaz Kalinkas and Tom Majors. Then Trevor Corey and Desharnais. Yes, I'm playing Desharnais on the 3rd pairing. Based on what I saw last season, he's the equivalent of one of these 0 overalls. There isn't really that much of a difference. So Cale Makar, I didn't expect you to save us. And that didn't happen this season. An 0-82 record, 75 goals scored this season. This isn't much of a surprise. But I am curious to see if a 0 overall player outscored Desharnais or not. Now, technically, no. A 0 overall player didn't outscore Desharnais. Rigby had 2 points, 1 goal, and 1 assist. Desharnais, he had 2 assists here. But you know what? I'm still going to count this as a 0 overall player outscoring Desharnais. 1 goal and 1 assist for Rigby. He had 1 goal this season. Desharnais had 0. I think that just proves that our 0 overall player is better than Desharnais. Eric Hartman, Ricky Lafleur, both of your guys' save percentage was below 700. That is absolutely atrocious. Honestly, it's a little bit impressive. The Minnesota Wild Stanley Cup champions taking down the Florida Panthers. I think it's about time we bring in a goaltender. Now, I have passed up on multiple goaltenders. Like, I just passed up on the Otter. I passed up on Phil Gustafson earlier. We got 2017 again. Just give me the 1st round here and I'll bring in the Otter. I don't know why we keep landing on 2017, but you know what? I guess I'll take it. Now, if we get 2017 in back-to-back years and then get the 1st round in back-to-back years, I think it's a bit broken. We got the 4th round in 2017. Why do I feel like we've landed on this before? I'm actually very confident that we've selected from the 4th round in 2017 before. I take that back. No, we haven't. And you know what? It's actually a good thing that we haven't, because we are going to be bringing our goaltender to the team here. Jeremy Swayman selected with the 111th overall pick. Swayman, welcome to the Wildcats. You're going to be a game changer for us. Drake Batherson is also available here, but we need our goaltender, and that's who Jeremy Swayman is going to be. So we finally got our goaltender, and that goalie is going to be Jeremy Swayman, 86 overall. He's going to be a great goaltender for us, more than likely the starter for the rest of this video. I shouldn't say that though, because if we get Shesterkin, Sorokin, or even Connor Hellebuyck, they will be replacing him. There's actually a handful of goaltenders that can replace an 86 overall, so I shouldn't say he's going to be the starter for the rest of this video. I take that comment back. Alright, so you remember how I said this team is guaranteed to win a game this season? I'm taking that comment back. We have 4 forwards here, we have 3 defensemen, and we have 1 goalie. Unless Jeremy Swayman puts up the greatest performance of all time, I don't understand how this team could win a game. Now, we were able to score a couple more goals this season, but you know what we did do? We kept the puck out of our net, and we did enough for 2 regulation wins, a 279-1 record. I don't really care too much about our scoring here. Jack Hughes, 65 points, Patty Kane, 55 points, Jordan Kyrou, 44, and Cale Makar's picking up 25. I do want to point this out though, Desharnais, 0 points this season. You had as many points as the 0 overalls here. Just saying, I just have to point that out. Jeremy Swayman, you had 2 wins and a 909, but who did you beat? I need to know who this man beat this season. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions. I can't wait to see the game where Jeremy Swayman beat the St. Louis Blues, because we all know he beat the Blues. It would only make sense for Jeremy Swayman to somehow beat the Blues. We're going to be beating the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1. The fact they were only able to score 1 goal against us is kind of wild, considering basically a week and a half earlier the Toronto Maple Leafs won 24-0. That's wild. But we were able to win 1 other game this season, and surprisingly, that actually came against the Carolina Hurricanes. That is not one team I expected us to beat this season. I was thinking like the St. Louis Blues, the Calgary Flames maybe. I could even see us being Utah because something stupid like that would happen. But nah, we beat the Carolina Hurricanes, one of the better teams in the NHL. Maybe the Wildcats aren't as bad as I thought. So we were finally able to win a game here, and Jeremy Swayman was the difference maker. It looks like we're heading to the 2010 draft class. There's a lot of amazing talent in this draft class, but barring what round we we get, that's going to decide what quality of a player joins the team. Like if we get a first round selection here, we're going to be adding a stud to the team, but instead we're getting a 4th round pick, and honestly that might not be too bad. Now off the top of my head, who is a great 4th round pick from the 2010 draft? I have absolutely no clue. I could not tell you who is a great player from the 2010 draft, drafted in the 4th round. Jonas Donskoy, I mean, he would have been available, but he retired actually a handful of years ago now due to injury. Hakanpää is available here, so I guess we're probably going to have to go with him. And I think that is who we're going to have to go with. Yeah, there's not a lot of great options here. Okay, Cale Makar, you're going to have to do magical things with this defense because, yeah, it is not looking good. Like, we are in the absolute trenches. Hakanpää, you're an 81 overall. Like, we're going to have Cale Makar to 95 overall. That's great. Then we have Hakanpää, an 81 overall. That wouldn't be bad in the 3rd pairing. Then we have Perbix. He's an 82 overall. Wouldn't be terrible in the 3rd pairing either. And then we have Desharnais. He also needs to play on the 3rd pairing. So we have Cale Makar and a bunch of 3rd pairing defensemen. You see the problem here? So Cale Makar, I'm going to need you to do godlike things here because I'm sorry, you just don't have the surrounding cast around you. When it comes to our offensive core, yeah, we got to start bringing forwards onto the team. Normally we're lacking defensemen and goaltending. Not today. We're lacking a ton of forwards. Hakanpää, I apologize. I've been sleeping on you. 4 wins this season, but look at that offense. 1.35 goals per game, 111 goals scored this season, and Jack Hughes led the way. 89 points from Jack Hughes. He was a point a game. Patrick Kane 71, Jordan Kyrou 64, Cale Makar 44. This team's stepping up. Ain't no way. I am sorry, but Desharnais, ain't no way. And Hakanpää as well? Nah, that's actually tough. There's not really too much you can say about that. Granted, Snoopy was playing forward minutes for us, but there's just no way. He outscored Hakanpää and he outscored Desharnais. That is tough. Jeremy Swayman, 4 wins, but you had a shutout this season. I don't care about anything else. The Florida Panthers Stanley Cup champions, who did you shut out? How did our team pick up a shutout? Like, I'm sorry, but there is just no way that we should have picked up a shutout this season. How on earth did the Wichita Wildcats pick up a shutout this season? That shouldn't have even been possible. The Calgary Flames, the 42-32-8 Calgary Flames were the lone team to be shut out against the Wichita Wildcats. Nah, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Like, how are you being shut out to a team that has 4 forwards, 4 defensemen, and 1 goalie? We're back in 2010 once again. We need a superstar. We've landed on the 2010 draft class in back-to-back spins here, and I think we've got the 3rd round in back-to-back spins, or did we have the 4th round last time? So with our last spin, we brought in Hakanpää, but that was the 4th round, so we're going to be moving up to the 3rd round here. Brian Rust is the first player I'm noticing here, and honestly, that wouldn't be a bad addition to the team. Scott Wedgwood is also available. Rako Gudis is a player available here, but we're not going to be going with him. I think we got to go with Brian Rust. I feel like this is just the simplest decision. He's the best player available here. Brian Rust, welcome to the team. So Brian Rust, you're going to be the 5th forward brought to the team here. An 85 overall really isn't too bad. I think you might even play some first line minutes from me. I'll have to move one of our playmakers down to the 2nd line who is technically a higher overall, but I feel like having 3 playmakers on the 1st line just isn't really ideal. So as I just mentioned, Brian Rust, you're going to play some top line minutes here. It's going to be Jordan Kyrou, Jack Hughes, and Brian Rust on the top line. Patty Kane's going to be moved down to the 2nd line to play alongside Adam Henrique. Adam Henrique's finally going to have a playmaker here. Unfortunately, they still have a 0 overall player, so they're going to be held back quite a bit. Now, with each additional forward we add to the team here, I think we're going to be looking at 4 more wins. The Wildcats, an 870-4 record, 123 goals scored this season. We're actually looking not terrible. Like, we're not good by any means, but Jack Hughes, 38 goals, Jordan Kyrou, 16 goals, Brian Rust, 19 goals. We're finding the back of the net a little bit here, and that's great. Jeremy Swayman, 2 shouts this season. Bro's really doing the impossible with nothing in front of him. Like, we don't have a good defense here. We don't even have a good offensive core yet, but he's still found a way to pick up 2 shutouts. Bro's locked in. But whether or not those numbers can continue, I guess we're going to wait and see, because I don't know how sustainable that is. The 2004 draft class is guaranteed to give us a really good player because we actually don't have to spin the other wheel. Now, the reason that we don't have to spin the other wheel is because there's actually only 2 players that we can select from. The 1st overall pick being Alexander Ovechkin and the 2nd overall pick being Evgeny Malkin. Those are the only active players left from the 2004 draft here. So I think we're just going to keep it pretty simple here. Alexander Ovechkin, welcome to the team. We got our goal scorer. So we got ourselves the greatest goal scorer in NHL history, 91 overall, Alexander Ovechkin. We're going to have Ovi, Jack Hughes, and Jordan Kyrou on the top line. Yeah, we're going to find the back of the net for sure. Now we got ourselves an elite first line, Jack Hughes, Jordan Kyrou, Alexander Ovechkin. Then on the second line, we got Brian Rust, Adam Henrique, and Patrick Kane. If we can get a better centerman for the second line here, I think our top six is going to be set. Now the offense was certainly better for the Wildcats this season. We're finishing with a 968-5 record, but 2.3 goals per game. We scored 189 goals. We weren't that far off the Blackhawks. How were we actually somewhat close to the Blackhawks? It was a 21 goal difference. We don't have a bottom six. We also don't have a third pair in defense. Jack Hughes also picked up 109 points. Alexander Ovechkin picked up 103, and Jordan Kyrou picked up 74. So that does help quite a bit. Like, these two guys alone combined for over 100 goals. No, that's actually ridiculous. 101 goals combined between those two players. Jeremy Swayman didn't pick up any shutouts here, but no, I think we have two players and that's about it. Those two guys carried the way for us. Jordan Kyrou, you were there to help, but no, that was ridiculous. Well, we certainly learned one thing right there. Apparently, all you need is one incredible line. We're getting the 2012 draft here. I actually don't recall who was drafted in 2012. Like, that was 13 years ago. It's been a hot minute. Now, that's actually wild to think about. The 2012 draft was 13 years ago. No, I'm old as dirt. We got the 6th overall pick here, but no, that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, when we're talking about the 2012 draft, we're talking about Nail Yakupov, Ryan Murray, Alex Galchenyuk, Griffin Reinhart. Wow, this sucked. I sometimes forget the top 4 in this draft was just absolutely abysmal. I'm not gonna lie, this first round actually really wasn't that good. You have a handful of studs in here, Vasilevsky, Tomas Hertl, Jacob True, but this was not it. This was not it whatsoever. But we don't have to worry about anyone drafted in rounds 1 through 5. The only one we care about is round 6 here. Connor Brown's an option, that's not too bad. Linus Ullmark, we can reunite Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman. Honestly, I think that's going to be the move here. I think we're going to go with Linus Ullmark. We're going to have our goaltending tandem. Like, Hina Strohs, I don't really want to go with you. Matt Benning, I don't want to go with you. I think the simple selection here is to go with Linus Ullmark, and then we have our goaltending tandem. So the dynamic duo is officially back together. Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman are our tandem once again here. Ullmark's going to be a starter. Jeremy Swayman's going to be backing him up. When these two guys are playing alongside each other, they're the best tandem in the league. Hopefully we can see that now with the Wildcats. So as I just mentioned, Ullmark, you're going to be the starter. Jeremy Swayman's going to be backing you up. This is a tandem we can certainly win with. We don't need goaltenders moving forward. So with 2 actual NHL goaltenders on the roster, we're going to be finishing with 17 wins this season, 10 of those coming in regulation. The offense wasn't quite as good this season, but you know what? At least we're keeping the puck out of the back of the net. Jack Hughes, 92 points. Alexander Ovechkin, 89. Jordan Kyrou was only -4 this season. That's actually a really good sign for this team. Then when it comes to goaltending, Ullmark, Swayman, y'all did what you could here. Ullmark's posting a 904 while Swayman's posting an 897. These numbers really aren't that bad considering we don't have a third line, a fourth line, or a third defensive pairing. Like, we still have a lot of 0 overalls on this team, but that's going to be changing pretty quick. The LA Kings are Stanley Cup champions. Let's go ahead and add another player. Now, what I wouldn't mind here is the 2015 draft and then us getting the first round. That would work for me. We have gotten 2017 way too many times in this video. Like, at this rate, half of our team is going to come from the 2017 draft. I don't know how we keep landing on them. It looks like we got the 5th round from the 2017 draft. So I think we're pretty familiar with who all of these players are. Let's move down to the 5th round and see what we're going to be bringing to the team. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I saw Sebastian Aho's name, I was thinking we were bringing the forward to the team, but I knew for a fact the forward wasn't drafted by the Islanders, and I also know they weren't drafted in the 5th round. But I think when looking at this list here, I think there's one clear selection. Noah Cates are going to be brought to the team. I think you're the best option. Now, Noah Cates isn't a superstar by any means, but you know what? He's going to play his role on this team, 81 overall. You're likely going to play 3rd, 4th line minutes for me, but as I just mentioned, as long as you play your role, you're going to be all right here. So with another forward added to the team, I can only assume that's going to be an additional 4 wins this season. We could potentially be looking at our first 20-win season. Now, Noah Cates, you had big shoes to fill. Like, you were replacing a 0 overall player, and with you replacing a 0 overall player, I didn't expect us to only win 13 games this season. Yeah, there's nothing I can really say about that. I think our offense actually got significantly worse. Like, we're below 2 goals per game. I don't know what to say. I don't know what this team was doing. Noah Cates, you had 17 points, 5 goals, 12 helpers. Nah, this ain't it. Plain and simple, this is not it right here. Both of our goaltenders were terrible. We're going to pretend this season didn't happen. Shout out to Carolina, though. Nah, that was wild. Like, that was actually wild. I don't know how we were that bad. The 2014 draft has a really good first round, and a really good player in the first round. He was drafted 3rd overall. His name is Leon Draisaitl. I want Leon Draisaitl. So how about we keep this simple and you just give me the first round here and then we'll be good to go. The 5th round. It's not what I asked for. Now, you know what? Even though we didn't get the first round, with all this amazing talent being Ekblad, Sam Reinhart, Leon Draisaitl, Sam Bennett, William Nylander, Kevin Fiala, like there's just so much great talent here. We have to go down to the 5th round, but I think we'll be okay here. One of the names immediately jumping out at me is Forsling, and I think we're probably going to go with Forsling here. I think he's actually one of the few players that we can select. I think he actually is the only player we can select here. I mean, we could go with Dakota Joshua or even Clark Bishop. I'm not going to lie to you. No clue who Clark Bishop is. But shout out to Clark Bishop. We gotta put respect on his name. With all that being said, we're going with Forsling. That's a no-brainer. Now we actually have a number 1 pairing here. We're gonna have Cale, Makar, and Forsling alongside each other. A 95 overall alongside an 87. We can definitely work with this. I was a little bit concerned before only having like 81, 82 overall players, but now we got ourselves a defense. So here we go. Cale, Makar, and Forsling. They can definitely lead us to a Stanley Cup here. As long as we can bring in like one more 85 overall, I think we'll be set here. Like, I don't think an 81 overall is going to cut it. But then again, if these two guys are playing 90% of the minutes, but then again, if Makar and Forsling play like 30 minutes a game, then I think we'll survive with just 80 overalls here. So we're going to pretend this season didn't happen, because this just doesn't make sense. We were even worse. We added Forsling to the team, and we took another step back. The offense was better here, but I mean, yeah, why are we losing? We shouldn't be losing this much. Granted, we still don't have a bottom 6, but that's beside the point. We have a good team here, sort of. Jeremy Swayman only won 1 game. That kind of explains it. If Jeremy Swayman just wins like another 3 or 4 games, our record looks a lot better, but he just couldn't buy a win this season. A 1-23-3 record, that's not it. That is not it whatsoever. The Winnipeg Jets Stanley Cup champions. I feel like we're going to add one more player and then we're going to jump up to like 25 wins or something. It's going to be something ridiculous. Like, we're going to bring some like 82, 83 overall forward to the team, and they're going to completely change everything. So we're going to be selecting from the 2013 draft here, but what round is it going to be? The 2nd round's pretty good. Now, I would have significantly preferred the 1st round, because we could have brought Nathan MacKinnon to the team, or Barkov, but it would have been Nathan MacKinnon. Instead, we have to scroll down to the 2nd round here, but let's not act like the 2nd round is full of bums here. Like, we're going to be looking at JT Comper. Wow, this is actually really mid. Tristan Jarry, I'm not bringing him to the team. Arturri Lehkonen is actually not that bad of a pickup. William Carrier, Tyler Bertuzzi. This is a massive fall off from the 1st round. Oh boy, this is not it. Now, Tyler Bertuzzi, you're an 83 overall. We're just double checking with Arturri Lehkonen because I do believe he is a higher overall than you. He's an 85, so we're going with Arturri Lehkonen here. Yeah, we could have had Nathan MacKinnon. Instead, we got Arturri Lehkonen. That's tough. Now, I just realized we're 5 players away from completing this team. We're 4 forwards away and 1 defenseman. We haven't even been close to being 2nd last in the entire league. We need something to change, and something has to change really quick. All right, what's it going to take here? Just give me 20 wins. All I want here is 20 wins. Why can we not win 20 games? Like, we almost have a complete team here, and we still can't win 20 games. Brian Rust is going to be the first player we see today with a positive plus minus. He's going to be +5 here. When it comes to goaltending, Swayman, win me some more games. Then again, Allmark played 55 games and only won 13. So why am I dissing Swayman here? We don't have a defense in front of these guys. Like, we don't have a 4th line. We still have a 0 overall in the defense. You might as well say we have 2 0 overalls because we have Vinny Desharnais there too, but that's beside the point. The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions. I need a superstar here. Whether it's a superstar forward or superstar defenseman, you have to give me a superstar. So we're praying for the 2015 draft and Connor McDavid. How about you give me the 2015 draft to Connor McDavid? Now just give me the 1st round. I don't care who else is available. Just give me the 1st round here. We are guaranteed to bring a star player to the team. The 2010 1st round. Isn't this the Nugent Hopkins year? I don't think the 1st round's elite in the Nugent Hopkins year. I was wrong. Nugent Hopkins was the 1st overall pick in the 2011 draft. Taylor Hall was the 1st overall pick in the 2010 draft. It's easy to get these confused with all the 1st overall picks that the Edmonton Oilers had and basically got nothing for them except for Connor McDavid. But that's beside the point here. Taylor Hall, you might be one of the best players available. I mean, Tyler Seguin's not going to be that bad of a pickup if we go with him. Mikael Granlund, I think, is like an 86 overall, so that could be the move. Jaden Schwartz, Vladimir Tarasenko, a bunch of St. Louis Blues legends. Nick Bjugstad's available. I'm not going to go with Nick Bjugstad. I thought I'd give him a shout out though. Brock Nelson's available. Okay, we're looking at a lot of like 86, 87 overall players, and I'm perfectly fine with that. All right, so Brock Nelson, I do believe you're one of the highest overall players here. Taylor Hall is like an 83, 84 overall. He's an 83, so we're not going to go with him. Brock Nelson, what's your overall? You're an 85 overall. I'm going to add you to the team, but we're just going to double check with a couple other players. Like, the more I think about it, I think Tyler Seguin is actually the highest overall out of all these players. What is Tyler Seguin's overall? Maybe not. He's an 86, but we don't need a playmaker, so I'm going to pass up on Tyler Seguin here. I think Brock Nelson's probably the best player available from the first round, so I think that's who we're going to go with. Never mind, what am I talking about? Mikael Granlund's an 87. Do we go with 87 overall Mikael Granlund? I was just talking about how we don't need a playmaker. We're going to pass up on Granlund here. We're going to go with Brock Nelson. This could potentially be the wrong move, but I think we need a power forward. Now, I can't really say that our top six saw a massive improvement with Brock Nelson joining the team, but Brian Rust moving down to the third line is a massive improvement. Him, Adam Henrique, and Noah Cates can definitely hold it down. We have 3 more 0 overalls in the forward core, 1 on the defensive core here, 2 if you count Desharnais, but I don't want to spend this entire video disrespecting Desharnais, only 95% of it. Alright, I'm going to make this claim right now. I haven't checked yet. If we somehow finish second last in the entire league, I will buy a Brock Nelson jersey immediately. Like, we weren't a great team this season, but we won enough games where I think there is the slight possibility we are actually second last in the entire league. 1 point. We were 1 point behind the Anaheim Ducks here. We finished with a 27, 47, and 8 record. They were 29, 48, and 5. Like, with a 27, 47, and 8 record, I didn't expect us to be second last in the entire league. But I know in NHL 25, the odd time you have one team do so incredibly bad, it makes absolutely no sense. Like, I have seen the Edmonton Oilers have a 25-win season in the 2024-2025 season with no injuries. I have seen them do that bad, so it is always a possibility you could see some team just completely collapse. The Anaheim Ducks almost did that. They were 1 point ahead of us. We were 1 point away from buying a Brock Nelson jersey. I'm very happy I don't have to do that because jerseys are way too expensive, but that's beside the point. Jack Hughes, 92 points. Alexander Ovechkin, 89. Jordan Kyrou, 76 points. All of them having a positive plus minus. We're moving in the right direction. We're just a few players away from making the postseason. Jeremy Swayman, maybe I should thank you because if you won one additional game here, I'd be spending $250 to buy a Brock Nelson jersey. So thank you, Jeremy Swayman. I don't have to spend my money on that. The Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup champions, we're very close here. Clearly, there's one thing that could put us over the edge. Connor McDavid. Just give me Connor McDavid. The 2023 draft is certainly not giving me any superstars. Like, this draft just hasn't been around long enough where I'm going to be getting a superstar in the 7th round or probably even the 6th round. There's a very good chance there's no active players from the 6th round yet. Like, we're talking about the Connor Bedard draft. There is no way a player drafted in the 6th round has made the NHL yet. Yeah, that's not going to be happening here. So what we'll do is I'll just select the player who is drafted the latest, and I think the latest was a player in the 4th round here, so we have 2 players to select from. We can either go with Ty Mueller, who played in 2 games, or I can go with Luca Cagnoni. He played 6 games with the San Jose Sharks, and I think that's the guy we're going to go with here. So Luca, you're going to be the final addition to the defense here. I'm only expecting you to be like a 75 overall. I am really not expecting that much from you. You were a 75 exactly. All right, Luca, welcome to the team. You're going to be playing 3rd pairing minutes alongside Desharnais. So unfortunately, as a 75 overall, you have to carry the 3rd pairing. Now, the Vinny Desharnais disrespect in this video has been wild. I don't know why I'm ripping on bro. I just am. Like, he hasn't done anything to me. I just don't like the way he plays. Now, our defense is officially complete here. Forsling, Cale, Makar, Perbix, Hakanpää, Cagnoni, and Vinny Desharnais. I'm not gonna lie, outside the first pairing, this is looking cooked. But we have Cale Makar and we have Forsling, and that's all we need. Well, at least that's all we need for now. Eventually, we do have to fix the bottom 2 pairings because that ain't it. All right, Luca, you might have been the missing piece all along. I thought a 36, 43, and 3 record would actually be significantly better than this. We weren't the worst offensive team in the league, though. We were actually a better offensive team than quite a few teams in the NHL right now. But yeah, I really thought 36 wins would have us like 24th or 23rd in the entire league. Nope, it has us 30th. That's not ideal. Jack Hughes, 106 points this season. Alexander Ovechkin, 103. I'm going to be completely honest here. Do not be surprised if we're actually worse next season, because I don't expect Jack Hughes and Alexander Ovechkin to light the lamp like they did this season. When it comes to goaltending, Allmark was was all right here. Jeremy Swayman's picking up 10 wins. That was a big time season from him. The goaltending doesn't look terrible here, but I think it's just the defense letting these guys down. The Montreal Canadiens are Stanley Cup champions. It's time for us to replace a 0 overall on the 4th line and finally make the playoffs. Alright, so we need another superstar here. Like, I need a McDavid type player. The 2006 draft class is going to be the next one we're selecting from. I don't think we've actually gotten this draft class yet. Now, there's not too many players left from the 2006 draft class, so let's see what we're going to be walking away with. A second round selection. I have a feeling if you're still playing from the 2006 draft class and you're drafted in the second round, you're probably a really good player. So we got ourselves the 2006 draft class, and there isn't too many players left here. Eric Johnson's available, Jordan Stahl's available. I guess Jonathan Toews is technically available because he's coming back for next season, but we can't select any of those guys. We have to go to the second round, and who are we getting in the second round? Jeff Petry. I mean, yeah, he's an upgrade to the defense. We didn't need another defenseman here, but he's actually the only player we can select. He's the only active player left from the 2006 second round. So Jeff Petry, welcome to the team. We didn't really need you. Now, Jeff Petry, I guess you will technically be an upgrade for this defense. You're going to end up playing some third pairing minutes, maybe even some second pairing minutes, because we do have a pretty bad defense here. You're an 82 overall. I believe that actually does give you second pairing minutes here. No, this team's defense is in the trenches. Like, the fact that an 82 overall is actually a pretty big upgrade for us, that says quite a bit. Okay, this is kind of funny, and we're actually going to run it for this season. So these are the head coach preferred lines. We're going to let Bro cook up what he wants to. So it's going to be Alexander Ovechkin, Jack Hughes, Patty Kane, Brian Rush, Jordan Kyrou, Arturri Lehkonen on the second line. But none of that matters. This man really wants to run Vinny Desharnais as our 4th line centerman instead of him playing over Luka. Luka is a 75 overall. I don't even care that Desharnais wouldn't even be in his primary position, let alone his secondary position, which he doesn't have. It makes significantly more sense for him to play out of position on the left side than to have him play 4th line center minutes for us and have a 75 overall play on the third pairing. But you know what? We vibe here. If that's what they want to do, that's what we're going to do this season. I'm not going to lie though, it's actually pretty funny. Like, they'd rather have a 75 overall in Luka play over 79 overall Desharnais. They really made that selection. Now, maybe Vinny Desharnais should just be a 4th line center. Maybe that's his role. Maybe he's just been playing out of position his whole career. A 38-41-3 record. We're actually pretty close to making the postseason here. We're not that many points away. We're about 12 points away, and once we add a couple forwards, we're definitely going to be there. Then again, can we keep relying on Jack Hughes and Alexander Ovechkin to have these crazy seasons? Like Jack Hughes 116 points, Ovi's picking up 108, Patty Kane 72. I don't know how sustainable this is. Then again, when it comes to goaltending, Jeremy Swayman only picked up 4 wins this season, so if he is just slightly better during the regular season, we're probably in the playoffs right now. But you know what? We're not going to worry about it. The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. We're about 3 players away from the Wildcats being Cup champs. Alright, so we need some true forwards on the 4th line. We can't have Vinny Desharnais carrying the way for us. The 2024 draft. Alright, we're just going to say this is first round only, because I don't think there's that many players outside the first round available from the 2024 draft. Okay, just hold on. Wait a minute here. I just saw something incredibly interesting, and I didn't even know this was possible. So here is the first round from the 2024 draft. These are the type of guys I expected to see, like Macklin Salbrini, Lev Shinov, Demidov. It makes sense that these types of players made it to the NHL within one season. However, there is one guy that does not fit this build and played in 10 games this season and was drafted in the 7th round. I don't know who Bro is, but we are 1000% bringing him to the team here. He was drafted in the 7th round, 217th overall, and he debuted in the NHL in his first season. Now, I'm sleeping on Bro. Who is this? Like, I know he didn't have any points in 10 games played, but to debut in the NHL the season after you were drafted, after being drafted 217th overall, that has to be unheard of. Alright, I have to familiarize myself with this player. They're on the Colorado Eagles right now, but who is Bro? How on earth did he make his debut in the NHL after being drafted 217th overall? I'm not gonna lie, he shouldn't have low bottom 6 potential. This man needs to have medium top 6 potential. Like, he was drafted in the 7th round and debuted the following season. That doesn't happen by accident. I know Colorado was dealing with a ton of injuries to start the year, and that's probably when he made the jump, but even still, he was drafted 217th overall. 1 year later, he played 10 games in the NHL. Like, that's unreal. Alright, I'm gonna make a bold claim, and honestly, it's not that bold of a claim. This is the best Nikita in the league now. Nope, I am taking this guy right here over Nikita Kucherov 10 times out of 10. Bro is him. I also understand the only reason he debuted as quick as he did is because Colorado had like 9 players injured. But even still, to be drafted in the 7th round and then debut in that same year, no, that's incredible. Also, Desharnais's playing right wing minutes because you know what, we vibe. Now, once again, the Wichita Wildcats are going to be missing the postseason, a 38-41-3 record, but this season was actually more impressive because we only scored 2.72 goals per game. This was one of the lowest in the NHL, the 3rd lowest. But even with that, we still won 38 games here. So if we just have a good offensive season and a good defensive season, we're making the playoffs. Like Jordan Kyrou led the way here with 76 points. Jack Hughes was under a point a game. Everyone was under a point a game here. Like honestly, this is ridiculous. There's no way we were this bad. When it comes to goaltending, both of y'all suck this season. Everything about this team wasn't good this season. The Washington Capitals are Stanley Cup champions. We just need to add 2 more forwards to the team and then we have a complete lineup, because I'm not counting Vinny Desharnais as one of our forwards. Like we need to have actual forwards on our 4th line. We can't be running 2 defensemen. The 2016 draft is really good if we can get the 1st round here. Like just give me the 1st round so I can bring Austin Matthews to the team. That'll be a game changer. The 2nd round isn't bad either. We've already selected Jordan Kyrou from the 2nd round, but there's other great options available. So we know what the 2016 draft's all about here. We've landed on it a couple times, I believe. We're going down to the 2nd round. Samuel Girard, I would love to bring you to the team, but we don't need a defenseman. Hronek, I would love to bring you to the team. We don't need a defenseman. Gustafsson, would love to bring you to the team. I don't need a goalie. But you know what? It's not the end of the world because there is one great player available here. That's going to be Alex DeBrincat. It's a great forward that we actually need here. He's going to fill a role for sure. So Alex DeBrincat, you're going to end up playing some big 2nd line minutes for me. I'm going to have to rely on you big time here. You're a good 87 overall sniper. We actually have to cut some of the 0 overalls. But you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. If we have to get rid of a couple 0 overalls here in order to bring Alex DeBrincat to the team, I think it's going to be worth it. So we have a complete team here, sort of, because we have 11 forwards and 1 defenseman. So technically we don't have a full team because we don't have 12 forwards, but Vinny Desharnais, he's going to play his role. When it comes to the defense, that's not the greatest outside of the 1st pairing. And when it comes to goaltending, Allmark and Swayman can definitely save the day for us as long as they have the right team in front of them. Now this might be the first time ever where I've had 20 NHL players on my team and haven't been able to make the postseason because we didn't make the playoffs here. The St. Louis Blues had 25 wins. Okay, didn't really need to see that, but it's unfortunate that the Wichita Wildcats with a 40-35-7 record just couldn't make the playoffs here. Then again, like we have 20 NHL players, so technically we have a complete team, but Vinny Desharnais is playing right wing minutes for us. So I don't really know if I should count that as us having a complete team here, because Vinny Desharnais is playing forward minutes and that's just not right. So we have to add 1 more forward to the team here, and then we officially have a complete team. Linus Allmark, 30 wins, 3 shots, a 903 and a 318. It's just not quite good enough here. This team still has a ton of flaws, like we have a defenseman playing forward minutes, but then when it comes to our actual defense, that's not good either. There's still a ton of issues with this team, but we're going to address them immediately. Alright, so no matter what happens here, we're bringing a forward to the team. Like we need a superstar that can lead the way for us. The 2006 draft has some great players. Now there is clearly one player I want here, so give me the 3rd round. This actually might be the only time I'm not happy with the 1st round. Like we're still going to walk away with a good player here, but I really wanted the 3rd round. So here's the options we have to work with. Eric Johnson, Jordan Staal, Trevor Lewis, Claude Giroux, the guy that we're going to go with here, Varlamov, Nick Foligno. In the 2nd round, Jeff Petry, but we already knew that because we brought Jeff Petry to the team. When it comes to the 3rd round, Brad Marchand. I would have really liked Brad Marchand here, but then again, Claude Giroux, no issues with him whatsoever. He's like an 87 overall player. He's definitely going to be a big time upgrade for us. By bringing him to the team, Jordan Kyrou no longer has to play center, and that in itself is going to help us a ton. Now let me just double check something. What's Brad Marchand's overall? He's an 89 overall. What's Claude Giroux's? Because Claude Giroux actually might not be that far off. I know he's not going to be an 89 himself. He's an 86. So you know what? That's not the end of the world. Yeah, the 89 overall Brad Marchand would have been better here, but I think I'll survive with bringing Claude Giroux to the team over Brad Marchand. Alright, these are the head coach preferred lines. I can't stress this enough. These are the head coach preferred lines. They want Luka playing over Vinny Desharnais. These are the selections they made. Did they send this man to the AHL? That's wild. They said, nah, we'd rather have Vinny Desharnais in the AHL over some of these 0 overall players. He said, nah, I want Snoopy, I want Eric Harmon, I want Ricky Lafleur. Desharnais, you can go to the AHL. That's crazy. Okay, how on earth did we finish first with a 49-24-9 record? When I saw we had 49 wins, I was thinking we'd be like 6th in the entire league or something. Nope, we somehow finished first. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how we're the best team in the entire league. I would not be overly surprised if we lost in the first round, because I don't think this team should be first in the entire league. We do have a good forward core, we have great goaltending, but let's not lie to ourselves. We have terrible defense. So there's nothing I can really say here. We have Chicago in the first round. Let's see what happens. Like, I'm sorry, 49 wins is good and all, but you can't tell me 49 wins is first in the entire league. I thought we were about to sweep Chicago for a second. If we swept Chicago in our first postseason appearance, that would be crazy, but we are moving on. Okay, hold on. I don't know why I just completely passed over this, but how did Chicago make the postseason? Like, this is the 2024-2025 Chicago Blackhawks, and you're telling me they made the postseason? How does that even happen? This has been by far one of the strangest videos I've ever recorded, because there's so few things that actually make sense here. We're taking on Vancouver in the second round. We swept Vancouver. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know how we're sweeping teams. I don't understand how we're 8-1. I don't understand how 49 wins gets you the President's Trophy, but we're just going to ignore it because we're about to make the Cup final if we win one more game. We had a 3-1 series lead. Don't collapse here. We are in the Stanley Cup final. How is this happening? We're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. What kind of Mickey Mouse run is this? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. We split the series with Toronto. Game 5 is going to be a big one. Can we steal that one away? Yes, we can. Are we going to win in our first postseason appearance? Well, we're going to find out in Game 7. It all comes down to Game 7. One game is going to decide it all. We're picking up 4 goals in the first period. Ain't no way. We got to play great defense, though, or we can just keep on scoring goals. We can do that as well. Are we going to be collapsing? Nope, we're scoring 9 goals in this game. Hawk and Paw picked up a goal. I need to see the stats in this game. Who was recording big time points for us? Jack Hughes 3 points, Patrick Kane 3 points, Ovi 2, Hawk and Paw a goal and an assist, Brian Russ 2 points here, Nikita's picking up 2 assists. Ain't no way. Jeff Petry's picking up a goal. This was one of the wildest runs I've ever seen. We really just won a Stanley Cup in our first postseason appearance with this team. Okay then. Like, I'm sorry, but this makes no sense. It makes a lot of sense now. Jack Hughes was 6 points away from 2 points per game. 16 goals, 22 helpers. Alexander Ovechkin, 13 goals, 17 assists for 30 points. Jordan Kyrou, 23. Cale Makar, 23. It all makes sense now. Our first line was just so incredible, we found a way to win. Hawk and Paw had 2 game-winning goals. Let that sink in. 2 game-winning goals out of his 3 goals scored. He took 20 shots. 10% of his shots were game-winning goals. There is nothing I can say to explain this run. Linus Ullmark, 16 wins, 3 shouts, a 909, a 269. Like, we have seen some wild things happen in NHL 25. This was one of the craziest, but I do want to point something out. The second I took Vinny Desharnais off our team, not only did we make the postseason, we won a Stanley Cup. This was our first season without Vinny Desharnais in a very long time. And what happens the second I take him off our team? We win a Stanley Cup and we have a winning record. And we win the President's Trophy. I'm not saying Vinny Desharnais correlates with losing games, but I might be implying exactly that.